All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at voice therapy. And more specifically, we're going to be looking at a particular type of voice therapy that uses dialogues for vocal exercises.
Yeah.
It's basically like working out for your voice,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of lifting weights,
Yeah.
you're using your voice,
Exactly.
but you're lifting your vocal skills to a whole new level.
And it can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I can already hear our listeners wondering,
Yeah.
what does this even mean?
Right.
To use dialogues for vocal exercises.
Right. So with this particular technique, what
Yeah.
we do is we take a script,
Okay.
and instead of just reading the words, you're using the dialogue as a platform to practice different vocal techniques.
Okay, so it's kind of like disguising a
Yeah.
vocal workout within a conversation.
Exactly.
And that's pretty cool.
So, for example, one line might emphasize a particular vowel sound,
Okay.
and then the next one might focus on modulating your pitch
Got it.
or practicing breath control.
Okay, so could you give me like a
Yeah.
real-world example of how that might work?
Absolutely. So imagine a dialogue where one character always uses these rising inflections at the ends of their sentences, and their partner responds with lines that are designed to practice resonance.
Okay.
Resonance is that really deep, rich quality in your voice.
Right.
And so this kind of back and forth helps you embody the techniques in a natural conversational way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So what are some of the benefits that someone might experience?
Oh, there are tons of benefits.
Yeah.
One of the biggest ones is improved vocal projection.
Okay.
So think about, if you have to give a presentation in a crowded room,
Yeah.
or even just make yourself heard in a noisy environment,
Right.
this technique helps you develop the ability to project your voice clearly and powerfully without straining it.
And it's not just about volume, right?
Right.
Like what about things like pitch control?
Absolutely.
Overcoming monotone delivery. Like how does that factor into...
Well, for that, we could create dialogues that are specifically designed to help you vary your pitch and inflection.
Okay.
So, for example, let's say you tend to speak in a monotone. We could have a dialogue where you have to convince someone of something. And so you'd naturally emphasize certain words and use a wider range of tones to get your point across.
That's cool. I hadn't thought about it like that before.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how you can kind of tailor these dialogues to address all these different sorts of vocal challenges.
Oh, exactly.
So you mentioned earlier that this method can make practice more enjoyable.
Yes. Definitely.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, think about traditional vocal exercises, repeating scales or just isolated sounds over and over again.
Yeah.
It can be a bit mechanical.
Yeah, it can be boring.
And honestly, a little bit dull.
Yeah.
But with these dialogue-based exercises, it's a lot more engaging. It's like you're rehearsing for a play.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You're embodying characters, engaging in conversations, and, you're having fun at the same time.
Yeah, I bet it makes people feel less self-conscious about practicing too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you're doing these drills.
Right.
You're involved in this creative activity.
Right.
I had a client who was a lawyer, and she actually used this technique to prepare for her courtroom arguments.
Oh, wow.
And she found that by practicing her arguments within these dialogues, she not only sounded more confident, but she felt more in control of her pacing and delivery, which ultimately helped her win cases.
Wow. So it really does have like a
Yeah,
tangible impact on people's lives.
absolutely.
That's amazing. So, we've been talking a lot about,
Yeah.
using these dialogues for specific vocal exercises.
Yeah.
What about like using different accents or character voices?
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Do you think that would add an additional layer of benefit?
I think it has huge potential because, when you explore different accents and voices, you're really pushing the boundaries of your vocal flexibility and your expressiveness.
Right.
And imagine, the creativity that you could unlock by playing with these different vocal qualities.
Right.
It's like taking your vocal workout to a whole new level.
So we've covered so much in this deep dive.
We have.
What's a final thought-provoking question that our listeners can kind of ponder as they consider this technique?
Well, we've seen how immersing ourselves in these dialogues can really enhance our vocal skills. But what if we take it a step further?
Okay.
What if we start practicing these exercises in different accents or character voices?
Yeah.
Could that unlock even more creativity and flexibility?
It's something to think about.
It is.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us
It was my pleasure.
on The Deep Dive. Then we catch you next time.
See you then.